We now join Hawaiian Xtreme's own Kenji Kosada and friends for what was supposed to be a fun-filled trip to the top of the Big Island's Mauna Kea. The day started with some good snow and some potential for some great snowboarding, but it quickly turned into an adventure for survival.
Anytime your hair stands on end, head for the car. These static electricity circumstances, it's very dangerous because that is the circumstance in which charged, which is free electrons, are moving up through your body and up into your hair. And it is exactly that circumstance which precedes a lightning bolt. So it's not a fun thing to experience, actually. It should elicit some fear, I would say.
I've been snowboarding for about 7 years now, 6 of which I've been going up to Mauna Kea on the Big Island. The experience I get up there is not like anywhere else. It's just completely jaw-dropping amazing up there.
Yeah, I've been snowboarding for a couple seasons in California. Other than that, this would be my first time snowboarding Mauna Kea. Just even being up there is just a spiritual experience. I really love it.
I've been snowboarding for about 8 years in Europe, North and South America, and I've been snowboarding up at Mauna Kea for even longer than that since I was a little kid. Every time I go up there, it's really amazing. I always have a good time, and it's just the most amazing experiences.
And the terrain is like kind of like Mars, kind of like extraterrestrial or something. Awesome.
Hawaii snowboarding season is about 3 months out of the year, and I always check this website that has really good reports about the conditions up there. And once I see a storm's coming in, I always call up all my friends and tell them that a storm's coming in and we're going to have some really good snow up in Mauna Kea and we gotta go.
Kenji comes up to me, he's like, yo bro, there's a storm coming, we got some snow. And there was a storm or two like a couple weeks ago, so we knew that there was a good base. So if there's some fresh powder being laid down, then man, it means we're ready for a trip.
So we pretty much book our flight the next day. We'll be flying over, get there early in the morning, checking the website, making sure the roads are open, making sure there's snow up there, seeing what the last night report was. It's all a progression of what you have to be doing. You get to see the snow up on the top of the mountain the whole drive up there, so you kind of get amped going up there as you're getting up.
Go over there for the weekend, drive up to Mauna Kea, build this ramp on the top of the world, and then have the most amazing session of snowboarding. It's so great up there because you're snowboarding in Hawaii.
And we find some beautiful, beautiful slopes, some super large bowls, and we're like, oh man, we're just gonna have a field day today.
So after a full day of snowboarding, either hitting ramps, climbing the top of cinder cones, riding powder down, we head down and reflect on the experience. And the experience is just so amazing, not only snowboarding in Hawaii, but the experience of going up there.
It's like you made it back to base camp from the top of Everest, pretty much. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like you get down, you can finally relax, take off your stuff, and reorganize, regroup, and then head back to civilization.
So the last day we were up there, it was a beautiful day, completely bluebird skies. It was just like your typical perfect day to go snowboarding.
It's about a 20-minute walk from where our car was. So we put all our gear on, get all our food, and prepare to make camp on top of this cinder cone.
Got up on top of a hill, took one run down. It was beautiful, snow was nice. As we're hiking back up the mountain, this huge storm just rolled in out of the blue. We did not see it coming whatsoever.
And so we all get in a line and start walking up right behind each other. And as we're going up, each one of us experiences this hissing sound, kind of like an electric cable line or something. It's going zzz, 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 and we're all like, hear it in our ears, we hear it in our snowboards, we hear it in our gloves, my helmet, my goggles.
And you know, all of a sudden Sean starts yelling, and we look at him, and every single hair is standing straight up.
And as I'm going up, I turn around and look down at my buddies, and they're just both pointing at me with mouths just wide open. And they're like, look at Sean! And I can feel my whole head just sticking straight up. And then all of a sudden, right behind me, bam! Huge lightning bolt, thunder, right instantaneously, right behind me.
And he's looking down at us, we're looking up at him, and we're like, ah! And he's like, what? And then we're like, we gotta get out of here. This is too nuts. We're just gonna leave our stuff up there, and we're getting to the bottom of this hill as fast as possible.
And I picked up my snowboard, and my snowboard started making a humming noise, and the whole board was almost vibrating and shaking, even though I was just holding it completely still. And then the lightning would come again, and then it would stop for a couple seconds, and then it would start building up again, and everything in the whole air was being charged, and my whole body, I could feel my whole body being charged through with electricity until the lightning would hit, and then the electricity would drain. And just the feeling of the electricity through the air, it was one of the scariest things I've ever felt in my life. So we all decided that we can't go up to the top of the mountain where all of our gear was, but we just got to get down the mountain, get off this mountain where the lightning was hitting, and get back to the truck where we thought maybe we'd be all right. We couldn't even get to our truck because the storm was getting so heavy. We ended up hiding out underneath this little rock outcrop, thinking that that would be a safe place to hide out. Little did we know, the rock is really full of iron content there, so we're pretty much being hit out by metal.
An hour goes by, and we're talking about what we can do and our options, and we figure that we can't just leave our stuff, and we got to get out of here. The storm's not going to clear up. So me and Alan, we decide to risk our lives and go back to the top of the mountain where this whole time lightning has been striking every 20-30 seconds. So we decide that we're going to go for it, and we got to do this.
I'm like, all right, well, the food's up there, so I'm pretty hungry. I'll go with you. You know, and Sean and Ben are like, oh yeah, good luck guys, we'll wait down here.
And we pretty much watched them every 10 seconds just dive down to the ground, face first in the snow, trying to avoid getting struck by lightning, and then getting back up, crawling 2 feet, and then diving back down, and then getting up, then crawling 2 feet, then diving back down. It was a very repetitious thing that was going on. But the lightning was just hitting left and right and behind us, in front of us, right next to us. It was all over the place all at once. You never knew where the next lightning bolt was going to strike down. All you do is you'd feel it charging up, you'd hear it charging up, and then it would hit.
I was standing up as I was going up the mountain, paying attention to this hissing sound and using it as an indicator, because as soon as it got loud, I know 10, maybe 11 seconds after that, a lightning bolt would hit. So as soon as it got intense, I hit the deck, I'd yell at Alan, get down, get down.
And then as soon as the lightning strikes and the thunder rolls through, we're like, all right, you feel it, that the charge has dissipated, and we get up and we keep going up.
So eventually, Alan and Kenji just got up to the top of the mountain, got the stuff, we're throwing down our metal shovels down the hill so they wouldn't use them as lightning rods. And they ended up sliding down the hill just on them, you know, trying to get down the hill as fast as possible.
So we were stuck up there for like 3 hours in this thunderstorm, and we finally got back to the car, and the access road that we came up in was completely bare at the beginning of the day. But because we were stuck up there for so long, the whole road was covered in powder, and it was untouched because for about 3 to 4 hours while we were up there, the whole mountain was evacuated of all personnel. So no one touched the road, and no one was up there.
And we strapped up, got on our boards, and just went down the entire road from Maunakea.
A blessing for the mountain, you know, not only did it spare our lives and give us the experience of our lives, you know, it bestowed us with all this fresh snow that only is there for us to ride because we were in the backside, and the Rangers missed us during the evacuation, so it just felt so blessed and so happy.
And being in a situation where the mountain was evacuated, the mountain gave us the ride of our lifetime.
Wow, that was close. We'll be right back to talk to one of the scientists at the top of Mauna Kea. Now we're back with one of Mauna Kea's leading scientists as he explains to us some of the dangers that we may encounter at the top of Mauna Kea.
Thunderstorms, of course, have that threat of lightning, and it's best to avoid being at the summit and not being in a sheltered situation during the midst of a thunderstorm. The best thing to do is stay in your car, which acts as a capacitor. It insulates you from the lightning bolt. So it's best not to be snowboarding in the midst of a lot of lightning.
So if you ever do go up to Mauna Kea, just keep it in mind that it is a very hazardous area. It's not something that anyone can just go up and do. There is maybe an inch or 2 inches of snow sometimes. Right underneath that is bare lava rock. It's not just nice soft little gravelly rock, it's solid rock that you can seriously hurt yourself on.
Myself, I've been in the emergency room from hitting my head up on Mauna Kea. I had my helmet on, took every precaution I could take, but landed straight on my head, and after that, saw stars, started foaming at the mouth, and lost all feeling in all my limbs, and had to be driven to the emergency room to be taken care of because my friend was fearing for my life, and I was pretty much spazzing right next to him and didn't have any control of my body.
You also have the whole altitude problem up there. You're at 13,700 feet and you get a little bit sick, altitude sickness. There's very little oxygen in the air.
15,000 is when the human death zone begins. You go any higher than that and you need an oxygen supply. So we're just at the limit. So I have to acclimatize.
Makes it really hard to breathe, really hard to do anything physically.
Starting from the beginning and driving up is probably the most reported accidents are people driving up in cars that aren't suited for driving on that road. People get out of control, go over the edge, hit other cars. Every year, all the time, it's really dangerous.
The snowboarding on Mauna Kea is for the few. It's for the really dedicated people that just really want to get snow. If you have the money, definitely go to the mainland over going to Mauna Kea. You're going to have a way better experience, unless you're hardcore enough and you want to experience what Mauna Kea will throw at you, which you never really know what it is.
So snowboarding on Mauna Kea is really for the dedicated snowboarder, the hardcore snowboarder, and a person that can really handle it. And it takes multiple times going up there to really be conditioned and understand what you're getting yourself into.
Whew, that one was a close call. But we're glad all the guys are back, they're safe and sound, and we're very happy they had the camcorder.